Okay, so the cameras are great, but just 2D, obviously. However, on most occasions, we'll see big enough obvious movements to work with. That's obviously the chest going way behind center over that right foot, and then on the downswing, the chest and head staying miles back. So in terms of numbers and body positions, it kind of looks like this. And then we can measure it on Sportsbox AI. So we're looking at the sway numbers here, and if we go to top of the swing, sway is just that left and right movement as we mentioned, but the chest is almost 5 inches behind centre at the top of the swing. That's got to be a lot more centre than that. Red doesn't mean bad, it just means outside tour average, so we can see the tour averages here, top of the swing, 1 inch behind or 1 inch forward kind of thing. I've got to worry about the red too much because Scotty Scheffler isn't green throughout, as you can imagine. And even the pelvis is too far behind the ball. The difference between those two is that sway gap, and we've got that blue line behind the yellow line. So it's a very draw biased term when players tend to move like that, all else being equal. Get through to impact, and this obviously measures every sort of position in the body you can think of, but we're looking at sways. Into impact here, chest is 7 inches behind the ball, so it's fallen back even more. Pelvis is driving forward. It's a good player here, so he's got good hands. He still strikes it well, just not down enough. So that type of rotation creates this type of impact. Usually attack angle up. You might think it's only 0.1 up, but it's got to be way more down than that. And the club path in to out, again, not a massive number, not scary, but for better players want to see that it's kind of 4 or under. And then little drill down the bottom with the ball over the stick, trying to rotate and extend the back. That's an exaggeration, and you guys will know already that feel and real is very different. That's the player trying to get the chest that side of the red line. That's the feel. There you go, big over exaggeration. Another one, which would be really good. So much more centre turn rather than that chest going over the right foot. And again, this is the real one. So you see it won't quite be where the practice was, but it's so much neater than the one at the top. Then we get through to impact. Chest way back, head way back, and through to impact here. Obviously a lot more centered, much more over the ball, which causes or improves the attack angle, gets the attack angle down, gets the club path much straighter. And then here's where we get to attack angle, much more sensible. The club path down to like 1 and a bit, face slightly open on that occasion, but that is much more controllable than that big hook. Anytime we push the hips miles forward ahead of the chest, usually into out club path, when the chest goes a bit nearer the pelvis or over the pelvis, usually something a bit straighter or a bit more to the left. And then we can start to measure improvements and changes. So this isn't too many swings later. Obviously still a bit of work to do, but good player, he'll practice and get it. And top of the swing now, the chest is only like 2 and a bit inches behind the ball, which is still slightly over, but it's just halved pretty much, or exactly even, where he was. So much more centre turn. There's still a bit more total turn needed. That's a bit short, but it was almost a full swing at full speed. So it's a great effort this to make that bigger change. And you can see the chest and pelvis much more stacked over each other, exactly the same to be honest. Then when we get through to impact, where it was chest 7 inches behind the ball and the hips were 2 inches forward. Still too much of a gap for me. It's still a bit draw biased, but at least everything is now this way a lot more than before.